Hi guys, it's Nina from VR Focus. We are here joined by...
I'm Brynley Gibson from Kuju.
So tell me a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how you got into this space.
Sure. Well, I'm the head of studios for Kuju, which is part of Curve Digital Entertainment, and we are a sort of traditional games company, but that's moving into immersive experiences over the last year. I previously worked at Sony London Studio, and I was the exec producer for PlayStation VR Worlds. That was our sort of big launch title we did. So after doing that, decided to move on and sort of work on my own stuff.
And can you tell me a little bit more about the various projects that you have worked on?
Okay, so well, there's PlayStation VR Worlds at Sony was, as I say, a launch title. It was made up of 5 different experiences. The idea was it was kind of like a sampler for people who hadn't ever played VR. For, you buy the headset, you get this package of all these different types of experiences you can try out. So there's sort of action, there's sports, bit of drama in there, sort of narrative experiences. So it was very broad ranging, and I guess it was like making 5 small games, like all together, back to back.
5 games.
Yeah.
You could just say you made 5 games.
We made 5 games. It was really easy. No, it was quite a tough project, obviously, for launch as well. And we've seen VR really evolve. Already I was playing some sort of launch title PSVR stuff about a month ago. And it's incredible to see how it's already gone beyond, what first came out there. So it's encouraging to see. And my new project we've just completed a few months back was called the Chainsmokers Paris.VR. That was a project for Sony Music and Sony Corp, and it was with the band the Chainsmokers. So it's like an interactive music video, and as you go through it you get to remix the music and sort of create a new track out of the Chainsmokers song, and as you look around you change the world. So as you remix the visuals, you remix the world, and you can make choices and you go down different pathways, and then you get a sort of different song at the end of it.
You get to be your own DJ?
Sort of, a bit of kind of music remix.
With their music?
With their music, yeah. So we took all the remixes that existed, we took all the stems of the song, and we were kind of allowed to play with it. So there's, by looking at an object, you might sort of trigger a light to come on, like a flashing light, and that might trigger a bit of the track. But by looking down, you might sort of filter the song. So we hid lots of different things in. There's even a crazy remix that didn't fit with any of the others, which you can only get by looking in a certain place. Okay. And you can sort of bring that in. So you can sort of play. It's quite a playful experience as well.
And how come you guys decided, or how come you personally decided to go into like VR and AR in this new immersive space?
So I guess, to be completely honest, I fell into it at Sony. It was sort of the opportunity was there to sort of get on board the project. That they were already working on it, and it seemed interesting. It was new technology. I've always liked sort of weird, non-traditional games products. I've worked on sort of music remixy puzzle games. I even made a game called Art Academy, which taught people how to paint and draw for Nintendo. So they're not sort of your normal games. So I thought, VR, I'll try that. I mean, I wasn't 100% sold. I was like, we'll give it a go. But then I played loads of VR, and I kept playing VR, and I was like, you know what, there is something different here. It's a different experience. It was changing sort of an emotional experience that you couldn't get from other mediums. So by the end of the project, I was just like gung-ho. I love VR. I really want to keep doing it and keep making VR experiences.
And right now you're working on an augmented reality mobile app?
That's right, we're doing some AR stuff. We are also working on some VR projects in the background, but our main project, is an AR project. It's very different to VR, so we're sort of, I've done some AR stuff in the past, or earlier stuff. If you think about Kinect or on a PlayStation Eye, that's early AR. So I have worked in those areas before, but the kind of modern mobile AR is slightly different. And so there's a steep learning curve. There's some stuff we can bring over from VR, but really it's quite its own beast. So different things you can do with it.
And what is it that you were going to talk about today on the panel?
So on the panel today, we're talking about narrative and sort of what we've learned from gaming, I guess interactive, immersive experiences. We've been doing, especially interactive, that's what games are all about. And now I guess people from filmmaking backgrounds, they're coming into VR and they're suddenly finding that interactivity is really key. It's a really important part of it to building immersion. So we're going to be chatting about that, talking about the experiences we've made and what we've learnt about narrative.
Well, can you give any tips to people out there creating the future or trying out different stuff, what to do? Can you give them a tip?
I guess, I would say experiment. You know, the rules are still forming. Okay, there's some things people have worked out, and you can now take those and go, well, that was fast track our project. Like, I want to move around an environment. Let's look at games that have done that, or experiences that have done that. Pick one that we like, so we don't have to worry about that. But there's no hard and fast sort of semiotics. It's still forming. So I would be as experimental as possible, and, you know, try things out, and you might find a new way to do something. We're all learning.
And what is like one advice that you'd say, don't ever do it? Like, that was a mistake, don't touch it.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess aggressive movement is a thing we have to deal with in VR. So allowing players to really hurl themselves around. Now, some people do like it, and you can get used to it to a degree, but there's a lot of players that will never be able to get used to it. So if it's just starting out, if it's your first VR project, I would take that into mind. I know some people are saying, oh, we've dealt with locomotion and comfort isn't an issue anymore. It's definitely still an issue. So that should be first and foremost. That should be there as something to be wary of. So if it's your first VR experience, maybe relax on that side of things.
Take it easy.
Yeah, take it easy, yeah.
Have you had a look at the mixed reality headsets and sort of what they're offering? What do you think sort of the idea of the future of VR would be not attached to a PC and that all of the power is all in one headset? So
Yeah.
what do you think that will bring to the VR scene?
So, I mean, AR, great, especially if it's in my glasses, let's say, and we're here and we could play a game of virtual chess, essentially, and have a chat as well, and we've still got the world going on around us. That works fine. You know, I'm not really sure if I'm suddenly going to press a button and go full VR while I'm in a public place. And for me, it's about occasions of use. You know, AR has a great sort of natural use case because it's a bit more like dwell time on my mobile. I can just sort of use it here and there. If it's on my glasses, I can use it when I've got a spare moment. Whereas VR takes a more investment of time. So whether it will be so seamless, people just using, you know, I can't see people using VR on the train. I mean, you'll get robbed. It'd be crazy to do it. I wouldn't, certainly. I think the hardware will go that way. It makes sense that you have one solution and you can move from complete coverage to just augmenting your world. That makes a lot of sense. But where you use it, I don't see those as the same. So I think those occasions of play are different.
And then the final question is, like, if you had your dream VR, AR project, like, what would you do? Like, what would you love to bring to life?
So I would love to do something with highly realistic characters and emotional sort of story between you and a virtual character. And we did some stuff at London Studio, which was very cool, where the characters sort of track your eye and react to you in certain ways. But because obviously it gets very expensive the more you go down that route, I'd love to just focus on experiences just that. So if it was you and me, sort of, but one of us is virtual, at a table having a discussion, I think that could be really quite exciting and groundbreaking to play around in that space and see what kind of experiences we could build.
Right, well, is there a website that we can go to have a look at all of your projects?
Sure, absolutely. Just kuju.com can take you there. It's under construction, actually. I mean, we're getting a new one, but there is all the games are there. Everything we've ever worked on is there. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. We're looking forward to seeing your projects.
Thank you.
And head over to vrfocus.com if you want to hear any more news related to virtual reality or any awesome tips. And I will see you there.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cool.